Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. My name is Julian, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about players that you can pick up to help you secure your win in week 6 of the fantasy hockey season. Before we get started, guys, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and follow me on Twitter at Fantasy Tipped. Without further ado, let's jump right into the content. So basically in this video, the first section is going to be for basically all leagues. I'm going to be talking about guys that can get you some points, and then I'm going to go into some goalies, and then I'm going to go into a section that's basically exclusively for categories league. I'm going to give you a section for guys who shoot the puck, guys who hit, guys who block, and face-off wins. So jumping right into it, guys, and there are 10 teams that play both Saturday and Sunday this weekend, so I'm going to be targeting basically exclusively players from these 10 teams because you'll get 2 games instead of 1, assuming that you have room in your lineup on Saturday. Those teams are Arizona, Boston, Calgary, Chicago, Los Angeles, Minnesota, the Islanders, the Tampa Bay Lightning, Toronto, and the Capitals. All right, so let's look at some forwards that can potentially get you some points this weekend. And first on the list is Victor Arvidsson of the Los Angeles Kings, playing top line with Anze Kopitar and also playing on the top power play. Definitely a really good deployment for Victor Arvidsson. Then I've got Jonathan Toews, who hasn't had the best season in the world, but it's Jonathan Toews. I'm going to trust this guy as a pickup for sure. Next is Ryan Hartman of the Minnesota Wild, and this guy is on absolute fire right now. He's only playing on the third line, but the dude's shooting like crazy, and he has been producing, so he makes for a pretty safe bet for a guy to pick up. And next is my Manscaped must-add player of the video, Anthony Cirelli. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code word FANTASYTIP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code word FANTASYTIP. Unlock your confidence, guys, and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Guys, the holiday season is coming up quickly, so get your holiday shopping done early this year at manscaped.com. Use the promo code FANTASYTIP. You'll get 20% off. You'll get free shipping, so get that shopping done right away, guys. So why is Anthony Cirelli my Manscaped must-add player of the video? Well, the answer is quite simple. He's playing on the top line with Braden Point and Palat, and is also now playing on the top power play in Tampa Bay, and the dude is producing. I like that deployment a lot. And also, if you do pick up Cirelli for the weekend, Tampa Bay has a pretty nice schedule next week as well, so Cirelli will help you out then as well. And then I have my man, Matt Zuccarello. You guys know I love Zuccarello. Plays top line with Kaprizov, top power play. He has been a little bit colder as of late, but Zuccarello is definitely someone who's worthy of a pickup. Next, I have Alex Kerfoot, who's been absolutely outstanding lately. He's been basically a point per game over his last few games. He's playing really, really well. He's playing second line on the Leafs with Marner and with Tavares, so you really can't go wrong there. Next, I have Phil Deneau and Andreas Athanasiou, both playing second line on the Kings alongside Alex Iafallo. Iafallo is insanely hot, so by default, these guys are playing really, really well right now as well, and definitely make for good streamers this weekend. Then I got Blake Coleman and Sean Monahan, who both play second line for the Flames. Monahan also gets top power play time, and he's been a lot better lately, so I have him down at number 8. Next are Nelson, Beauvillier, and Anders Lee and Beauvillier, both playing top line with Matthew Barzal, both also top power play, which is pretty great. And Brock Nelson is always someone that you can count on every now and then for a point or two. Then I have Dustin Brown, who plays top line with Kopitar, and Kempe, who plays third line. I like them both, but Dustin Brown definitely has a better opportunity, but Kempe has definitely been hotter. Then I have Charlie Coyle, who's actually having a pretty decent season this year. He's playing second line with Taylor Hall and usually Craig Smith. I'm assuming Craig Smith will be healthy this weekend. Then I got Joel Eriksson Ek, who's currently playing second line with Fiala, who's definitely always someone who could potentially put up a point, considering he also plays on the power play. Then I got Lawson Krause, who's quietly putting up a pretty decent season for Arizona. He's been their best player this year, and he's also someone that has a safe floor in Bangers League because he hits a lot. Next, I have Kirby Dach of the Chicago Blackhawks, who always has a good opportunity to put up points because he plays with DeBrincat and Kane. Next is Kyle Palmieri of the New York Islanders. Don't love his deployment since he's third line, but he's a decent player, so he definitely has an opportunity to put up points. He also plays on the top power play, so there's definitely that going for him. Then I have Connor Sherry of the Washington Capitals, and I really love his deployment right now. He's playing top line with Alexander Ovechkin and is also on the top power play with Ovechkin, so he has every single opportunity to put up points for sure. Then I got Phil Kessel of the Arizona Coyotes, not having the best season in the world, but he's playing for Arizona, and he's been one of their better players. Then Dubé and Backlund are both playing for the third line in Calgary. They've both been pretty decent, so they're not the worst streamers for sure. Then I got Hathaway and Sprong, and they're both playing on the second or third line, whatever you want to call that line. Hathaway is insanely hot right now, so he's definitely someone that could potentially put up some points for you. Honestly, I could potentially have Hathaway a lot higher on this list. Then I got Matthew Joseph of the Tampa Bay Lightning. He gets to play second line with Steven Stamkos and Killorn, so definitely a pretty good opportunity there for deep leagues. He's only owned in 1% of leagues. And then I'll go ahead and look at other Islanders like Bellows, Wahlstrom, and Parise. All right, so what if your lineup is full on Saturday and you just want to pick someone up for Sunday to help you get some points? Well, obviously you can pick up some of the guys I said just for Sunday, or you can look at some of these guys as well. And I'm looking at 3 Seattle Krakens. I'm looking at Eberle, Schwartz, and McCann. All 3 of them get a lot of power play time, and they're basically their 3 best players realistically on offense. So they'll definitely make for some pretty good ads. Then I have Barclay Goodrow, who now that Sammy Blais is out for basically the year, Barclay Goodrow is playing on that top line again with Mika Zibanejad. Definitely like that deployment. Then I'm looking at Asplund, Thompson, and Jeff Skinner, which is the top line in Buffalo. Always guys that could potentially put up a point. Then I got Höglander and Pearson, guys who are playing top line or second line, whatever you want to call that line, in Vancouver alongside JT Miller. And then I got Marcus Johansson, who gets to play a good amount of top power play time in Seattle. So what if you want some defensemen for both Saturday and Sunday? Well, the number one ad for me, at least to get you some points, is Shane Gostisbehere. He's been their best defenseman this year. He's been better than Chychrun, and he's been putting up points, especially lately, so he's definitely a good player to add. Then I have Oliver Kylington, although I actually found out recently it's pronounced Shillington. Either way, he's been absolutely incredible, not getting any power play time and still putting up basically a point every single night. Super dependable guy and definitely a good streamer for this weekend and someone that you could hold on in the future as well. Then I got Rasmus Anderson, who's slowed down a little bit lately, but he's still top power play in Calgary, so he's definitely someone that you could depend on to hopefully get you a point this weekend. Then I got Kale Clegg, who's top power play in LA, can definitely put up a point for you. Then I got Alex Goligoski, who's second power play in Minnesota, but has been putting up a point every 2 games. So in those 2 games, those back-to-back games this weekend, Goligoski should definitely put up a point. Then I got Noah Dobson, who's top power play for the Islanders. Got healthy scratch recently, but I'm not too worried about him getting healthy again. Now that Pulock is gone for a long time. And then I got Dmitry Orlov of the Washington Capitals, who's only second power play, but has been playing pretty well lately, so he could potentially put up a point if you're really desperate. Now, are any of you guys looking for a goalie to stream on Sunday? Before I pick up any of these guys, I'm waiting until the goalies get confirmed on Saturday. If their counterparts in nets get confirmed on Saturday, then you can go ahead and pick them up because in all likelihood, a goalie is not starting back-to-back games. For example, if Jonathan Quick gets confirmed to start on Saturday, then Calvin Peterson is for sure starting on Sunday. Then I have Dan Vladar of the Calgary Flames. He's just been incredible this season as a backup. Every start he's gotten, he's played very, very well. So he's someone I would definitely not hesitate to grab this weekend. Then Brian Elliott plays for Tampa Bay, would get Minnesota, assuming Vasilevsky starts on Saturday. Then Joseph Woll of the Toronto Maple Leafs faces a little bit harder of a challenge with the New York Islanders, but it's definitely a winnable game for Toronto. Then Kaapo Kähkönen, who, like I said before, should face Tampa Bay, assuming he doesn't start on Saturday. Then it's going to be Tokarski or Dell for Buffalo on Sunday because they do have a back-to-back Sunday and Monday, which is something you don't see too often. So you might want to wait until the day of to pick up your goalie, assuming you have same-day ads, because it could be Dell starting rather than Tokarski, just because they do have a back-to-back set. And then I have Karel Vejmelka and Wedgwood. One of them is going to start Saturday. One of them is going to start Sunday. Which is going to start when? I don't know. So you're going to have to wait until and see who's confirmed on Saturday. And once someone is confirmed on Saturday, you'll know who's starting on Sunday. If you have room for a goalie both Saturday and Sunday, you might as well add one of these guys earlier. That way you'll get them no matter what. Then my last priority would be Kevin Lankinen. He sees the Canucks, which is not that hard of a matchup, but they do score a pretty sizable amount of goals. And, Chicago has not been the best team in the world, but it's definitely not the worst stream if you need to make that choice. All right, so jumping into the categories league section of the video, and these are the guys that are going to get you the most shots on goal. Arvidsson's been averaging 4 shots on goal per game, so definitely the number 1 pickup. Also, like I said, he's the number 1 pickup for me to get you some points as well. So overall, Arvidsson, just a great pickup. Then I got Dustin Brown playing on the same line, has been averaging 3.4 shots per game, definitely also makes a great pickup. Ryan Hartman averaging 3.3, Blake Coleman averaging 2.9, Adrian Kempe averaging 2.8, Joel Eriksson Ek averaging 2.7, and then I have Andrej Kasha, who's been shooting a lot lately for Toronto and definitely makes for a good ad if you're in a really deep league and you need some shots on goal. All right, so what if you want to make sure you win that blocks category? My number 1 ad would be Justin Holl of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's only 1% owned, but has been blocking 2.6 times per game. If you get him for both Saturday and Sunday, well, you might get 4 or 5 blocks, which is pretty freaking good. Then Jake McCabe and Calvin DeHaan of the Chicago Blackhawks have been blocking 2.4 and 2.2 times per game, respectively. Then Noah Dobson and Scott Mayfield have been also blocking 2.2 times per game. Then Connor Murphy with 2.1. And then Dyson Mayo, which is probably a guy you've never heard of, but he's definitely an option as well. Definitely not owned in your league. If for some reason every single one of these guys above him is owned. What if you need some hits? What if you need to catch up a little bit on hits or make sure you win that category? Well, Matt Martin is the number 1 hits ad. Dude shoots 4.5 times per game. Definitely not beating that. He's definitely the number 1 option for hitting. Then we got Reese Johnston of the Chicago Blackhawks. Just make sure that he's actually in the lineup before you go and add him. But he has been playing the last few games for Chicago, and he hits 4.4 times per game. Definitely a guy you want in your lineup if you want to catch up on hits. Then there's Cal Clutterbuck, who hits 4 times a game. Nick Foligno, who's hitting 3.8 times per game. It's a pretty small sample size because he hasn't played a lot, but he has been hitting. Then I got Jujhar Khaira, who's hitting 3.6 times per game and is actually playing on the second line with Jonathan Toews, so there might be a little bit of points upside there as well. And last but not least, what if you need to catch up or to maintain your lead in faceoff wins? Number 1 guy, and it's not even close, it's Jonathan Toews. The dude wins over 12 faceoffs per game. That's definitely the guy I want to add if he's available in my league. Then it's Joel Eriksson Ek, who wins 9.3 faceoffs on average per game. Jay Beagle with also 9.3 faceoffs. Phil Deneau with 9.2. JG Pajot with 8.3. And then David Kemp, who's only 1% owned, so he's definitely available in your league. Should get you about 7 or 8 faceoff wins per night on Saturday and Sunday. So together you should get about 14, 15 faceoff wins. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and remember to follow me on Twitter at FantasyTipped. I'm constantly releasing updates to help you guys win your week in fantasy hockey. I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.